hard to decide what the best instrument to learn is when there are so many different instruments that teach you different things. I'm going to be breaking it down into 4 different categories to give you the best instrument for each. The 4 categories are rhythm, ear training, intonation, adaptability, and best for a beginner. Hi, I'm Sid. I'm currently a college student who's majoring in music. I also have been a pianist for 15 years and can actually play 15 different types of instruments, including violin, the trumpet, and the ukulele, plus many more. Definitely stay to the end of this video where I'm going to tell you my personal opinion on what the best instrument is to learn. The first category is the best instrument for rhythm. And I bet you probably already guessed it, but it's actually the drums. Drums, first off, teach you the basic thing of music theory of rhythms, how to count, and how to read in different meters. Once you learn the basic of those things, it also teaches you how to play patterns. You can learn like a 3/4 pattern or a 6/8 pattern, and then use that instead of having to actually have music in front of you. You can say, hey, what pattern is the song in? I'm like, oh, it's 4/4 meter. Okay. And just click one into your head and boom, you're good to go. The drums also allow for a lot of creative freedom. Now, most people don't think that's actually a true statement because, well, they don't actually have notes, but I completely disagree. Different meters and putting, like, if you have a 4/4 song and you play a rhythmic pattern of like a 6/8 with a 3 pattern versus a 4 pattern, it completely gives a song a different vibe. So they have this really cool way of being able to completely change a song without really changing it at all. There are some not great things about learning the drums as an instrument. Number one, it doesn't teach you any notes. Because it has no notes, you really miss out on a lot of music theory like accidentals, key signatures, and basically anything that goes along with that, which is everything. So it's not really ideal for those reasons, but definitely the best instrument, especially if you want to learn rhythm or improve on it. But if you're looking for something that does have more of a music theory / ear training, we're going to look at the best instrument for that, which is the cello. It is a very difficult instrument to learn. It requires a lot of technique. You have to understand where to put your fingers on a neck board with no frets. You have to understand how to hold your bow, all doing this at the same time while you're reading music. So there's a lot to learn and a lot of technical, very detail-oriented instrument. Because it is detail-oriented, it can also be a little bit slow to progress. It can be frustrating when you're first learning the instrument. But because it's so technical, it teaches you so much. Number one, it teaches you intonation. If you don't know what that is, it's on the cello. You actually can't just put down your finger and be like, okay, everything's good to go. You have to listen to make sure you're in tune because just a slight movement like that will completely change the sound of your instrument. So it teaches you really great ear training skills. It teaches you how to multitask and get your brain to process so many different things at one time. It also teaches you almost everything you need to know about music theory, from bass clef, treble clef, tenor clef, which is very uncommon, but cello is one of the few instruments that read in it. It teaches you how to read notes, teaches you how to do key signatures, dynamics, half steps, whole steps. Basically everything that you need to know about music theory, you can learn with the cello. It also has my vote for the prettiest string instrument. So if you're looking at wanting to get into more orchestral music, the cello is definitely your way to go. But a cello can only go so far. That's why I want to talk about the best adaptable instrument, and that's the saxophone. It's not going to teach you as much music theory as your last instrument. It's also going to be a little bit more difficult because you do have to learn how to deal with your lungs and your mouth. The last instrument, yes, it had multiple things going on with your hands, but you didn't have to train your lungs endurance, or you didn't have to train your embouchure to a specific shape to get the instrument to play. However, all of these things don't add up to the benefits of the adaptability of the saxophone. Once you know how to play the saxophone, you can actually almost switch to any other woodwind that you want. Yes, there will be some adjusting, like learning new fingerings, but I actually know several woodwind players who start out on saxophone and then are able to expand out fairly quickly. It is also very popular among several different genres. The most notable being pop, especially in the early 2000s, almost every song had some kind of saxophone in it. But it's not just pop. You can also hear it all of the time in jazz. It's honestly the mascot of the jazz music. But even further, you can actually hear it in classical now. Obviously, it's not going to have as much repertoire for classical music, but there is still a good chunk where you can play it with the piano or some different orchestras that are playing a piece that requires a saxophone. So you're not stuck in one genre. The other thing is it does teach you music theory, but a very simple one that can take you relatively far without having to really focus and study music theory as intensely as the cello. If you're thinking to yourself right now, okay, I'd love to learn the saxophone or a new instrument, but that is just way too expensive, then let me tell you what the best instrument for beginners is, and that's the ukulele. My first ukulele that I purchased was on Amazon for around 60-70 bucks. No, it wasn't like the greatest instrument, but it did what it needed to do, and I was able to learn the instrument before having to spend all of my cash money. It is cheaper, but it is not as versatile as the saxophone, but it does get you really, really excited to play music. It's a good beginner instrument that actually has a lot of YouTube accessibility, so it's not just, okay, like the cello or the saxophone, where a lot of times you actually have to have someone teach you how to play. The ukulele is a great beginner instrument because you can teach yourself. Yes, I play piano and I play trumpet, but the ukulele was the first instrument that I self-taught. It was great, it was super fun, and got me really, really excited to learn more. It didn't make me learn a lot of music theory to actually play the instrument. I just got to sit down and immediately start playing it. I didn't have to understand, like, okay, key signatures, notes, this and that. It just gave me, hey, here's the chord, here's how to play it, boom, and you're done. The other thing that makes it a great beginner instrument is that it only has 4 strings. It really simplifies music and learning instrument way down so that you can progress fast and get really excited and encouraged by your progress. But if I had to choose an instrument that was the best overall, not just for one category, it would have to be the piano. And I know what you're thinking, you're really biased because you've been playing the piano for 15 years. But let me explain. On the rhythm side of things, piano has a lot of intricate rhythms. You're also having to learn how to do 2 rhythms with both hands. So one hand might be playing quarter notes and the other hand is playing eighth notes. Automatically, you start learning how to do rhythm, how to read meter, and how to do all of the basic things that drum teaches you. It also teaches you tons of music theory and worked on your ear training. I was actually in an ear training class this last semester, and all our professor did was sit at the piano and played like perfect 4s or major 6 or just whatever, and we had to practice and write it down. They don't teach ear training on a cello, or they don't teach it on a saxophone. They teach it on a piano, because it is one of the base for all other instruments, which makes it a great beginner instrument. Not only are all the keys laid out, but there's a lot of online resources as well, so you can learn songs without actually having to pay for piano lessons. Do I suggest piano lessons? Yes, they help keep you accountable, and they'll teach you some different techniques that the internet just sometimes forgets, but it is a great way to get into music. The piano is also one of the best instruments, not only because of its easiness for beginners and how fast they progress, but also how versatile it is in any sort of context. You can go play classical music on the piano, you can play jazz music on the piano, or you can play pop music on the piano, and even some acoustic stuff, and all of it's going to sound good no matter what. So the piano is just one of the greatest bases for all music kind of knowledge, and is what I credit to being able to learn every other instrument so much more quickly than just, okay, trying to understand it, trying to figure it out. And I know what you're saying, okay, Sid, that's great and all, but pianos are expensive. Yes, actual pianos are expensive, but the best part is pianos come in a cheap form called a keyboard. You can get a keyboard on the internet for like $100, like max. You can find ones that are way less more expensive and will do the exact same thing for you. Granted, no, they aren't gonna sound as good, but it's a great way to get you started, especially if you don't have the money right now to go purchase a whole piano. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Be on the lookout for more videos like this, and we'll see you guys next time.